My fifth grade counseling curriculum is all about executive functions, and this is the curriculum that I use. These are lessons 4 and 5 on goal-directed persistence, and if you have longer lesson blocks around 45 minutes, you can do them that way in 2 lessons, or if you have a shorter lesson block around 30 minutes, you can take each station or center from the lesson and make it its own mini lesson and do it in 5 lessons instead. So lessons 4 and 5 are laid out within one lesson plan. We're going to revisit what goal-directed persistence means, and then we're going to go over an acronym that I made up to help them remember it. It's FRAPS, and then, like I said before, there's a station that they rotate through for each of those, which you could do in stations in 2 45-minute blocks, or you can make each one a separate lesson if you have less time. So this is the acronym FRAPS for goal-directed persistence. The F stands for flexibility, then rewarding yourself, keeping your attention and your focus on your goal, so it's not something we just set and then forget about, monitoring our progress, taking small steps. So the first station is on flexibility. They have these plastic cups stacked up in a tower, and they're trying to pull the note cards out without knocking the tower down. And as they do that, or after they do that, they're going to complete this flexibility reflection. So how long did it take? What strategies did you try? When or how were you flexible? How did it feel when you didn't get it? And how did it feel when you finally got it? The second station is on rewards, and there are 2 options for this, but they're basically taking a rewards survey to figure out how they like to reward themselves. There's this one, which you might use for like maybe your 8th graders, or you can do this one, and they're basically just saying, do I like this when I have finished a goal? Is it a way that I like to reward myself? They're going to total the columns, and then on the back it has a little explanation for their answers. The next station is attention and focus. They're just going to create kind of like a little vision board for their dream, something that they can keep displayed so that they can keep their focus on their goal. This is my favorite. This is the progress monitoring station. So they're going to take a look at some sample ways for progress monitoring. So I have lots of samples in here to show them how they could track their progress towards different types of goals. So they're going to review all of these samples, and then they're going to pick a way to track their own goal, whichever one fits the best. So there's a bunch of blank options in here. They could use one of these, or, we have lots of creative students. They could create their own just on a blank spot right here. This station is all about breaking big goals into small steps, and this just gives them some more practice on doing that. So in the station, you can have them do this as a group, or they can do it independently, but there's an example of a long-term goal and some steps you can take, and then 2 goals that they're going to add small steps. Then on the back, they're going to identify their own long-term goal. It could be the same or different from the previous week, why it's important, and then these are just some examples of some small steps that could be helpful. They can pull from this word bank, or they can create their own, but they're going to list their own small steps on the bottom. And those are the stations for goal-directed persistence. There's 1 station for each letter of the acronym, and that's just going to help them keep their focus on their long-term goal before we move into a new topic. Those were lessons 4 and 5 on goal-directed persistence. Check back soon for lesson 6, all about working memory.